Oh, you guys want your picture taken?
Yeah.
I take a picture. Is this thing actually going to charge? Oh, it is going to charge. All right, we're going to see what this looks like at the end of the episode.
Cool.
All right, say cheese, chat.
Yee.
Cheese chat.
All right. There we go. Let's see what it's like at the end of the stream. I don't know why I'm smiling, says Amy.
I went back in time just listening to that sound. My body just went back in time.
Yeah, it's pretty great, isn't it?
No.
Oh. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ubuntu Touch Q&A, the UBports Foundation show discussing the development of Ubuntu Touch and our community's questions. This is episode 109, streamed live on September 25th, 2021. 109? When did we get there? I'm getting old. Hey, if you like what we're talking about here and want to see if your device is supported, you can head over to devices.ubuntu-touch.io. Head over there, check if your device is supported, see if you can install with the UBports installer, or maybe the port needs a little bit more help and you can help with that. Or your device might not be supported at all. In that case, it's going to need a custom image made for it. You can head over to the porting documentation at docs.ubports.com/porting to learn more. My name is Dalton, and joining me this week are Marius.
Hello.
And Alfred.
Hello.
Hi, folks. I didn't forget you.
But okay, we forgot you. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Well, I suppose we should get to our big roundup of news and questions and updates today, because, you know, why not? Now, I actually did not write the Ubuntu Touch OTA 19 blog post, so I don't know in depth what exactly is in that blog post. Let me check that real quick. But Ubuntu Touch OTA 19 is out. It is rolling out to all devices right now. The list is huge of devices that we have this releasing for. I cannot believe how many devices we have this rolling out to at the moment. Marius, mute your microphone.
But I don't want to.
Of course, this release is still based on Ubuntu 16.04. It has a new framework for app developers if you want any of the new packages that have entered, including Qt Web View. There are now gyroscope and magnetic field sensors in Halium 5.1 and 7.1, but not on Halium 9 devices. So your Xperia, you can use the compass now. That's pretty cool. Compass, the magnetic field part. I'm not sure if it has the calculated sensor yet. I'm sure Florian will yell at me about this after he watches this. I let Florian handle the project management of this for the second half, so he did very well. I did not. A lot of annoyances were fixed, including in messaging app where the keyboard won't auto pop up sometimes. If you do see that problem again, though, let us know and we can see if we can do some more troubleshooting on it. There are fewer annoying password dialogues on devices like the Volaphone, which I'm sure everyone's going to love. And your music will now pause if you unplug your headphones while it's playing. That used to work. We broke it. It's fixed again. Thank you, everyone, for reporting these bugs. And of course, if you find some strange behavior in Ubuntu Touch, please let us know over at github.com/ubports/Ubuntu-Touch. Bug reporting is one of the easiest ways you can contribute to Ubuntu Touch, and we really appreciate your help. And again, OTA 19 is rolling out to all devices right now. So if you have an Ubuntu Touch device that's on the stable channel, you will be getting that within the week. So go grab your updates. They're here. Or they're almost here, depending on what random number your device picked.
Yes. Go get him. Go get him.
Did you forget to unmute?
Not at all.
It's okay.
I'll never do that.
Do you guys mind if I plug something real quick?
Sure, go for it.
Ah, sweet. So, I have a new podcast, in case this one wasn't enough for you. It's called Linux After Dark, and it's if you've listened to Late Night Linux Extra for the past few episodes, it's myself, Chris, Gary, and Joe. You've been hearing basically what Linux After Dark is going to be. So our first episode on future casting where Linux is coming out on Monday as we record this. So if you're on the audio feed, it's probably out already. It's coming out on the September 27th. LinuxAfterDark.net. I'm really excited. We've got a few episodes in the bag, and it's going to be released on Monday for the first one, just so that the iTunes feed will come up. And then after that, it'll be releasing every other Friday. So it'll be 2 and most of another week before you see another episode. But we've already got that one recorded. I think you're going to like it, LinuxAfterDark.net. Anyway. Marius, would you like to talk about what you've been working on the past couple weeks?
Yes, I shall. So my quest this week has mostly been the same as last week's. So I have been working somewhat locally on getting focal devices. Well, actually, the Android 9 part is already pushed. I know Dalton has already yelled at me for using that branch name, but I'm working on it. So I'm trying to merge them together. But I encounter a fine bug. Totally what I want to say.
The good, well-aged bug.
The well-aged bug. So, okay, this bug is just pure stupidity. Okay. So what happens is that in a tarball that system image is creating is that it takes what it gets from CI. It puts that into a dot file in the folder, and then it places symlinks outside that. And when these are uncompressed, the compressor or the decompressor just says, and then it fails. Then it fails to install, and it just breaks the device.
Oh, yeah. System images tar isn't great. It is Python's tar. It's using Python's tar directly, and
it sucks.
So yeah.
So I have, with all my might, I have now rewritten that shit, and now it works. But it fails to boot. So I did something wrong. So at least the code is working. But it doesn't boot. But I'm getting progress. When I do it manually, it works perfectly. But when I do it with CI, it just... So I still need to figure out why that is doing that. But funnily, locally now, Focal works pretty nicely. It installs from the server and everything. I also been testing updates on Focal. And it works great. Other than that, I'm working on Qtmir, Lumiri, and Miroil for the 1,000th times. This time, I have been fixing stuff on my laptop. As I said last time, I've been daily driving it hard, and I have encountered some hard bugs that I needed to fix before I lose my insanity, or before you
become sane.
Yeah, before I become sane.
No.
It's like I don't want to become
sane and install Ubuntu.
Yeah. So I still want to keep my insanity. So that's why I'm trying to fix the bugs that annoys me the most. This is proper dog fooding, and I can feel the pain. But now that I fixed a lot of the issue, it actually is pretty usable. Other than GNOME apps. Other than that, it's actually pretty usable.
Yes. The small niche that is GNOME apps.
Yes. Nobody needs GNOME apps.
Shots fired.
Is it flame o'clock? Alfred, save us from this.
No. I want to explain why I say that, and this is why I don't know why I still hear this. I have ripped my hair so much because the thing is that Wayland has implemented that XDA decor, which can get to tell the compositor to tell the client to draw client-side decor or draw server-side decor. And the thing is that GNOME just says, no, we don't want this. But they have implemented the KDE decor thing, server decoration. But in that specifications, it's only a recommendation. And GNOME app says, no, we want client-side.
Oh, okay. So we have to figure out how to not draw the server-side stuff for GNOME apps.
No.
Oh.
We need to make GNOME actually follow the standard that is XDA or XDG. XDG.
Not happening. Let's figure out the other one.
No, actually, the Sway guys are actually swaying them over to actually do it. So it's getting there.
All right, Alfred. Grown. So what have you been working on this week, Alfred?
So I have been again working on Miracast support, and as you've seen, I've ripped my hair out. So the problem that I've encountered the last time is fixed. So the encoder is actually now able to take the frames from the screen contents and push them over to Miracasts to an adapter. It works for integrated screens. So the screen on the phone, that one works perfectly well. But the virtual monitor right now is still exposed to some kind of color format issue, it seems, because just before the show, Nikita, for example, has verified that on his device screencasting should work. And I am going to take a look at that after that. But for some odd reason, the color format just does not fit and on the virtually spawned screen. So I will try to tackle that issue as soon as possible. Maybe not this weekend because, again, I don't want this situation to happen again. And but for now, it seems like at least what we can solve with this is having feature parity with Android, so to say, where you can screencast your internal screen at least on the Pixel 3a. So I might turn this into a solution where the screen can be chosen so that you can choose whether it's a desktop mode or screencasting from the phone. It's still up in the air. It's still an idea. It's a suggestion, so to say. But if people are willing to put up with that, maybe they want it, then we can certainly implement that. What a pain. Trust me, what a pain. But again, in the next 2 weeks, I'm trying to fix that so that external monitor support can work over Miracast. And it's supposedly working at 30 frames per second, according to the statistics of the encoder and from Mir. So it should provide a good enough experience for everybody to play around with when it works, of course.
I like how you said that. You said well, and then you just changed it to well enough.
Well, some people might not like 1080p. Some might not like 720p. Some might want to have 4K. That we cannot provide easily, at least with the current way that things work. So it's still in progress. So as soon as it works, as soon as I have something to show, I will definitely let you guys, everybody out there, know what's going on and how the thing looks, basically.
Well, I hope that both of your hair remains intact for the next couple weeks.
Well, I still have my beard to rip out.
Okay. So we're still not completely finished
quickly,
yet.
You know?
I see. I can't wait to see the updates on this because Lumiri on the desktop, let's put it on the framework. Maybe that's not such a good idea, but we can try it.
Yeah.
Anyway. Also coming to a focal device near you. You don't have any, but you do have the PDK. Rajanan has got patched Pulse Audio and the Pulse Audio modules Droid in the archive. LibIatana Common, a newer version, has been imported. This is another thing worth mentioning is we're working a lot with the Iatana developers so that they can make the Iatana indicators the ones that are running on Ubuntu Touch. instead of our old indicators from Ubuntu. So they're busily working on bringing the histories of the Ubuntu indicators and the Ayatana indicators together so that we don't need to maintain both of these anymore, because things like Ubuntu Mate could use Ayatana or could use Ubuntu app indicators. So we're bringing this all back together. This is going to be very good for a lot of distributions. That's Ayatana. We're also working on renaming and importing a bunch of settings schemas, splitting them out into different packages so that it's easier to maintain them, because, this has been a pain. All of this leading to eventually being able to do these changes more quickly in the future, paying back technical debt, as it were. All right. That is our news this week, so why don't we take a moment and thank the people who make all of this news possible? And that would be many people, but also our sponsors, including our platinum sponsors, Smooze, Vala, and Pine64. We thank you very much for making it possible for Ubuntu Touch to continue. We pay for stuff like servers. They're very important. You get updates from them. Anyway, I'd also like to thank our community sponsors, including Travis Mackmer, Amelith, Raskignaris, Sensfell, Dan Trevino, Daniel Franzak, Robin Hood, Laszlo Tomas, Ian Locke, Max Fielder, A. Thiel, Casey Lambie, George Toma, Renat Mirkalev, Will Atwood, and Scott Marley. Big thanks to all of you for helping make Ubuntu Touch possible directly by donating at places like Patreon. You can also find more ways to donate to Ubuntu Touch. We really appreciate whatever you can do, whether it is contributing to the community or donating to us so that we can continue the mission of Ubuntu Touch. And you can find all of our sponsors over at ubports.com/sponsors, or find all the ways to donate, including tax-deductible ways depending on your jurisdiction. Please ask your tax advisor over at ubports.com/donate. All right. We've got a lot of questions to get to this week. I see a lot going by in live chat, but unfortunately we should do the things from the forum first. We take these questions from our forum over at forums.ubports.com. You can head over there about Monday-ish to Wednesday-ish, depending on how good Dalton is. You'll see the link there. Blame Dalton.
But also praise Dalton.
Don't do that. Hey, Alfred.
Yeah.
On the new devices page, the Nexus 5 and OnePlus One, this is a question from Alter, are still labeled as promoted, but in the last Q&A, it was mentioned that they might be left behind with the move to 2004. Is it wise to encourage newcomers to buy these devices? And which future-proof devices, that's a terrible word, are the most mature and daily driver ready? PinePhone is still in early development from what I understand and not for sale at the moment anyway. So that part isn't true. The PinePhone is for sale currently, and that was shown to this commenter in the thread. But someone else also had a question like, what is the new Nexus 5? This device that everyone can get their hands on and use. What is it?
Well, it might be the Pixel 3a. If you ask me personally, for some people who are already using the Pixel 3a, it works very well, and they're very happy with the progress of the port. So it was actually one of my goals to make it the next Nexus 5. Simply because it's a Google phone that you can actually get quite easily, or now you can get it quite easily. There used to be a time frame where it was not available that easily. And where we can actually support the device for some time. And the thing with the Pixel 3a compared to others is that it's been tested in the wild, and it's got people like Dalton and me using it. So it's got a little advantage here, but it should not discourage you from porting your own device and becoming one of the newer ones, part of the team, so to say. Actually, it should encourage you to have some sort of reference device that you can go back to and see, oh, that's how it works there. Let me implement it on my phone. So if you're a porter out there and you want to provide the next Nexus 5 or whatever, or the next Pixel 3a, whatever that might be, I hope you feel motivated to do it, because that was my motivation and I think I pulled it off. And that's certainly something that makes me happy here.
This is also a good place to mention our sponsors again. The Vala phone is available with support and pre-installed with Ubuntu Touch, so you can buy it straight from them. That's a good option as well if you just want a device, you want the support, you want someone paying to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Alfred, could you give us our next one?
Okay, Aptly asks, Canonical extended the LTS support up to 10 years for security updates. I suppose it also applies to our beloved mobile OS. Can you comment on that? Does it change the long-term plans for 2004 that should end its life in 2030?
Boy, it would be really cool if Ubuntu 16.04 was supported for 10 years. But it's not. At least not if you aren't paying Canonical. You can get Ubuntu ESM, which is available for x86 64 servers, not ARM servers, not any of the ports. And you can get it via an apt repo that doesn't allow anyone but ESM customers to see it. It would probably be possible for us to take the source packages that Ubuntu is releasing for security updates and rebuild them. But it's this catch-22 of how much time do we want to spend on maintaining 16.04 when we're also trying to move to 20.04, right? So unfortunately, no, this ESM announcement doesn't really change the situation for Ubuntu 16.04 for us. It could, but that would be splitting our time even more than we already are, which it's tough, but I think that we're on the right path now. Oh boy, 1,000 Topics had 1,000 questions this week. Say an app developer had reverse engineered WhatsApp. That app developer has everything that they need to just compile the clicks for the open store. What would you ask them to be added or removed from the app? What would you suggest? Don't ship it. Don't. I mean, it would be really cool if we could have a WhatsApp app, right? Because that's one of the first things that people ask about when they come to Ubuntu Touch. But WhatsApp is notoriously bad about custom clients accessing its service. Almost as bad as Signal in a lot of ways. Although they've been better in the recent years because people aren't trying to take their trademarks anymore. Mm. But no, WhatsApp will shut down a custom app. It's not if, it's when.
And it's not only the custom app that gets shut down, it's the accounts that are used over that client. So you do not want to risk any users' possibilities here or access here. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is really a bummer because, again, it's the first thing that people ask about. But I'd say you probably don't want to ship it. You'll get banned. You'll get all your users banned. It's just not a good situation for anyone to be in. That said,
wait for Waydroid.
Yeah. That said, there is the WhatsApp web app, which takes your Android phone, or sometimes not anymore, and lets you use a web app to access the messages on another phone, which apparently is fine. Sometimes they break the user agent, but that's easy enough to work around, and people don't seem to get banned for it. So there's that. Use it at your own risk, but if you really need WhatsApp, that's an option.
Yep.
Android 12. Is it a good chance to take a look at it so that you as a team can have some advantage when new devices shipping with Android 12 hit the market? Is it a question about budget? What do you guys think about porting Android 12?
I mean, it is simpler these days with Treble. But what makes it hard is that Android likes, or Google likes to change around how the boot process is working each release. I haven't looked into. Have you, Alfred, looked into the boot process?
No, not yet. But I have been told that they changed into optional init-RAMFS versus non-optional init-RAMFS again. So you can choose as a device manufacturer whether you would like to use an init-RAMFS or not.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Like you just pinged me and said, let's get Android 11 first. That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
Seriously,
That's work in progress already. Android
these
12
things
is
can
still
come
in
as fast
beta.
as they want, but we can only work as fast as we can. So,
Right. I mean, is it a budget? Of course it is. I mean, we don't really have the resources to follow Android as fast as we would like to. But we don't have the manpower to do that. If we had, we would totally do it. It's not the thing that we don't want to do it. It's just that we need to focus on catching up. We are catching up faster and faster and faster than ever
with
before.
every release, yeah.
Yeah. So we are getting to a point where maybe Android 13 we will catch it up before releases. So yes.
That's not a prediction, by the way.
That's not a prediction. That's just a prediction. No. Also, Amy has a good point with the generic Android kernels that they are creating now and following upstream Linux a lot faster, which is also kind of good.
It has gotten easier for sure.
Yeah, and they have for future devices, not for the current ones, but for future devices, they've actually proposed an upstream first policy where they work on Android features on the upstream kernel first, and then they let it trickle down into the Android kernels, which...
Oh, you mean the thing they should have been doing for 15 years?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not salty. Why would you say that?
Me neither.
No. Alfred, how about that last question?
Raspberry Pi has already ARM software, and it might be a lot of it. Isn't it a good idea to see what you can use from them or add to Ubuntu Touch? Well,
It's not quite that easy. While you can just run properly compiled, ARM HF or ARM64 software on Ubuntu Touch, that doesn't mean it's going to be a good experience, and it doesn't mean that it really helps anything.
Yeah.
It's not like we can take the drivers from the Raspberry Pi and use them on other devices. It's not that simple. It would be cool, though.
Is it about drivers or about applications?
I don't know. No detail.
Because if it is about applications, I mean, most of them will run on Ubuntu Touch, but they probably will not be user-friendly because it's the same as like Raspberry Pi software is desktop software, and running desktop software on a phone is pain. It doesn't make a great user experience. So what really needs to be done if we want to use a Raspberry Pi software or an application, you would need to do some magic with the user interface to actually make it usable. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It will work, but it will be a crap user experience.
All the software could. Yeah, that's a good way to say it. It could probably run, just as the entire Ubuntu repository could probably run to some amount, accepting bugs in Mir and Wayland and Unity, Lemiri. Oops, but
it's like running GIMP on a phone. Like, yes, you can.
Not this again.
But why would you do that? Why would you do that?
It would be really cool if GIMP would look good on the phone. Anyway.
Yeah.
Multi-boot. Scout1 has questions about multi-boot. So yeah, we can go over multi-boot real quick, I suppose.
Yeah.
People have hacked onto Ubuntu on phones like the Pixel 3a, a way to boot both Android and Ubuntu Touch, which is pretty cool. The problem is, if you're just booting stock Lineage OS and you update stock Lineage OS, it's going to overwrite your Ubuntu Touch install. If you update Ubuntu Touch, it's not going to overwrite your Lineage install, but it will do the other way around. So you would, in order to have multi-boot on recent Android devices with A/B support, so they boot one Android, update the other one, boot to that one, you would need a version of Android that only updates its own slot and a version of Ubuntu Touch that only updates its own slot, which is all of them, luckily. But the Android one's going to be trickier. I'm sure that someone could figure out how to do this, but it's definitely not something that we care about right now.
Yeah. And also, Also, there is something to be said about the user data partition explicitly needing to be split. And you do not want regular users to go into the situation of repartitioning their phone. On the Pixel 3a, for example, because I've looked into it, it does not work. You cannot add another partition because the number of partitions is actually exceeding the limit. And so the problem here is that, yes, you can run 2 operating systems on one thing, theoretically, but considering that you need to split the user data partition, and we're currently not using the AB slot mechanism for updates, there are some limitations that you have to work around. And one is using, for example, one operating system using SE Linux and the other using AppArmor, causing trouble during the use of the phone OS that you're actually using, might cause issues on the other one while you boot up while you change the boot slots to the next one. And you do not want to run into that situation either. So, I mean, multi-boot, yes, it would be fun to have, but, and if I might plug something myself here, I've made a blog post about a possible way to make verified boot work on Android devices. And that involves also installing on the second partition, getting us AB slot updates for free. So the AB slots would be taken away from Android anyway. So it depends on what you need and what what we personally would like to have is an operating system that you can use without Android. Or at least that's, to some people, that's the goal. They want to de-Google their life, as they say. They want to run something different, and they do not want to rely on services of other operating systems. So we can provide that. If you really want applications from Android, I think the best thing would still be Waydroid, because then you do not get into the situation where you have contacts on one operating system and not on the other, and synchronizing those might be a highly complicated issue in and of itself anyway, because of encryption and stuff like that. And I mean, dual booting while sound on paper is not very feasible for most people out there.
Wow. Yeah, what he said. I think we should skip the next one and talk more about it before next time, yeah? Yeah, we're going to talk about that more before next time.
Yeah.
Let's find some questions in the live chat if y'all want. Just a couple, and then we'll finish out.
Yeah, there's one about Droidian. Yay!
Here's the picture that I took before we started. That's a Polaroid. Anyone see anything they want to answer? Will Marius eat a sock if Android 13 isn't easy? That's a no. No, that's a no. That's a no.
That was cat no. Or no, Johnson. There's one question from Ready. I'm sorry, Dalton.
There was a question about whether we're working upstream with Droidian on anything other than the Halium parts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe so. I think that there's members from that community working on Waydroid as well, but I don't know of any direct collaboration other than by Halium, which is why Halium is cool, by the way, because we can have that kind of collaboration.
Yeah, Halium we are collaboration on, but Droidian is using the GNOME ecosystem / Fosh. So no,
right. So we're a little separate.
And Fosh is basically just reroute everything that they need. So
yeah, but if they have questions about things that need to be done for a hybrid system, we can answer those, or I'm sure that Sailfish can as well, depending on whether you hit their developers on a good day or not. So I mean, that's cool.
It depends. There are certain things that I've talked to Irfan about what was it again? Camera support on the browser, for example. I've talked with Irfan about this, and there's one way we were having a little conversation about it. So we're definitely in contact, but it's just those projects are providing two very different experiences. One is based on the idea of having a user not, maintain their operating system, so to say, having separate operating system and click packages as we do. And Droidian specifically wants you to install applications through apt. That's one of the most obvious things. And we just differentiate ourselves here. So, both...
It's also updates.
Yeah. The way that the system updates, they're very different. So, there's a reason for both to exist, for sure. It's just that we want to provide something different. And, there's also this one question about Droidian and using app support, like us having...
can we make Ubuntu Touch work like Droidian? It's like, well, no, you probably just want to use Droidian in that case, because they're different products.
Yeah. So Ubuntu Touch is never supposed to be this old-style Linux traditional desktop.
Yeah.
We are providing...
I wouldn't call it old. I would call it seasoned.
I would call it old.
Okay.
So it is the old style. To compare it a little bit better, we are probably more alike of what Android is providing than what Droidian is providing. We are providing a user experience that should just work. In theory, our theory is that when you install this on a phone, it should always work regardless of what happens. So that if you sit on a bus and do an update, that update should be successful. If you install an app, that app should install successfully. While that probably is true for most of the cases on Droidian, the thing with using apt to update is that if you, for example, is an application from the store that updates Mesa, and then Mesa is setting some EGL config that sets it around the Hybris thing, your phone is bricked. That is a theoretical possibility that can happen with apt, and you can break your phone. With system image, that is impossible because it doesn't. Well, then we have to fuck up. It's more difficult. Well, we have to be the one fucking up.
Droidian is Mobian with Halium. Yeah, it's Debian. It's a Debian operating system that works on Android devices. And that is what some people want. And we are really happy that there is someone servicing them, because we are not. And that is really good. Whatever the good or bad of each system may be, each of them exist, and that is good for the user.
Right.
All right. Anything else? Is the PinePhone OTA in sync with the standard Ubuntu Touch OTA? No. The PinePhone one should be released. It still wouldn't be in sync, but I think it would be released. But if I didn't do it myself, it's probably not released. So sorry about that. I'll get that done this week. PinePhone should be seeing an update this week. RC has been RC for long enough. Anything else? I think that's all.
So.
Okay. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're out there and you like what we're talking about and you want to see if your device is supported by Ubuntu Touch, you can head over to devices.ubuntu-touch.io. If your device isn't on the list, it's going to need a custom image made for it. Go to the porting documentation at docs.ubports.com/porting to learn more. That was a lot of fun. If you want the fun to continue, you can find us on all sorts of social media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, PixelFed, Mastodon, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Or if you just want to know about our news, you can find it over on Telegram or Matrix. Links to all of these, of course, are in our video description. If you want to chat with us, you can find us at Telegram, at UBports on Telegram, or #UBports:/matrix.org on Matrix, or our forum over at forums.ubports.com. For longer form content. Hey, thanks for joining me, Alfred, Marius. Anywhere that you want to send people this week, Alfred?
Sure. So if you want to read my blog post that I mentioned earlier, just look at the website fredl.me. That's fredl.me. That's also my username on Twitter, fredl.me. spelled out like DOTME.
Okay.
And just get in touch with me, follow me, have fun reading my stupid ramblings and stuff like that.
All right. How about you, Marius?
Repeat that.
Cool. At Mario Grip on Twitter. I am very
Oh, yeah.
glad that you send people there, Marius.
Yeah, I lost audio for a second. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us, and we will see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we have an audio show at soundcloud.com/UBports.
Smash the like button.
Smash it!
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Don't break your hand.